Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where today the Valentine's fusion, you can see the hearts on her staff, has been revealed. Wight Queen Ankora. We're going to be running through her kit today. And let me tell you, right off the bat, she looks to be very, very good. And not only do we have her full kit, but it is a Valentine's fusion. And as is tradition, there is going to be a partner champion for this fusion. And we've got his whole kit as well. It's all here. Wight King Narses. He is up to, we're going to be breaking him down. Long story short, bear this in mind. He looks to be a HP based damage dealer that to me seems very much designed to address Taras Marichka. That seems to be the purpose here. So you let me know by the end of this video. Do you think that this new couple beats the existing so it's simply you just gotta buy a ton of void shards to get Taras Marichka, and then to beat Taras Marichka, you just gotta buy a ton more. Anyway, let's look at Wight Queen Ankora. Anyway, this will begin on Thursday the 8th of February, so slightly under 1 week from now. On the third, it's exactly as I predicted, actually, so pretty much bang on. We know what to expect. Again, the one thing I would say certainly to watch out for, especially with the 2x Sacred Shard that's on today, I'm actually not sure what I'm going to do about that event myself. It's very unclear what 2x event will be on during this fusion. It's just very unclear. Is it going to be 2x Voids or 2x Ancients? It kind of could be either one. They've been pretty inconsistent. So who knows, right? We're not entirely sure. Like usually 2x Voids comes after 2x Sacreds, but again, things have been a bit wonky. We've had 2x Voids more recently than 2x Ancients. So the shard requirement for this fusion looks pretty sketchy. So, and she looks pretty good. So yeah, for that. Let's look at her though. Let's go. So she's a Knight's Revenant, legendary magic affinity support. Break down her kit. Necro Bolt or A1 attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance that books to a 50% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random ally skill by 2 turns, except this champion. If Wight King Narses is on the same team and has any active skills, decreases one of his skills by 2 turns. So let's actually cover this other bit first. If Wight King Narses is on the same team and has no active skills on cooldown, decreases the cooldown of a random ally skill by 2 turns, except this champion. If a cooldown on a skill is fully reset, also heals that ally by 10% of this champion's max HP. Preview in advance, or A3, excuse me, is a revive, which means she's likely to spend quite a bit doing her A1. It's a very good skill. So without him in there, it's a 50-50 to reduce a random skill by 2 turns. It reminds me a lot of Golden Reaper. That could actually be quite potent for more PvE type stuff, like I can imagine in a Hydra, for instance. It could be pretty decent there. That could be kind of good. Or for some bosses in this game, right? Just getting random cooldown reduction on like a Newt or something like that, you know, or a Rathalos Blade Master. There's lots of great champions you're running against bosses where random cooldown reduction's quite strong. Not bad. If you add him in, it basically switches it from a 50-50 to a guaranteed, and it will always go onto him unless he's got no skills to cool down, which makes it even more powerful. I think it's already a good A1. Oh, it's very random without that. But yeah, again, you could potentially be giving him a ton of cooldown reduction, which could be very strong. Shield of Amaria, the A2, 4-turn bucks to a 3-turn cooldown. Removes all debuffs from all allies and puts a shield buff on them equal to 25% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. If Wight King Narses is on the same team, also places a 25% strengthen buff on all allies for 2 turns, then fills the turn meter for all allies by 10%. The formatting here, I'm actually not 100% sure. Do we get the 10% turn meter just by default, or is that only if Wight King Narses is there? That's not super clear. I think that it just happens at the end and it happens either way. So I'm pretty sure without him, it's probably a full cleanse with a big shield and a 10% turn meter boost, which is a decent move. If he's on the team, you get the strengthen as well, which becomes actually very good. So, I mean, straight up, if he's on the team, it's very much like a Mithrala, right? You get full cleanse with a massive shield and strengthen. That's what Mithrala does, and that's a very powerful move with the turn meter boost as well, so it's really good. Her shield's a bit weaker than Mithrala's, but then again, she might have really high max HP. I'm not sure. And certainly, at least it doesn't look like she needs any accuracy, whereas Mithrala would. And this champion, you also are healing her max HP stuff based off her max HP and her A1. So likely you're going to build her max HP very, very high with this. I would say, interestingly, first impression would be she might be very strong in, like, if you got stone skin accessories, 4-piece stone skin, so you can cleanse on turn 1, and then maybe a bolster set as well with lots of max HP. So you're getting a big shield and she's keeping herself alive. That could be good. Anyway, let's look at this next one. Let me move me out of the way. Rise My Love, 5 turn books to a 3 turn cooldown. Revives a dead ally with 50% HP and 75% turn meter. Resets the cooldowns of the revived ally skills. If the target's Wight King Narses, revives them with 75% HP and 100% turn meter. 100%, just to clarify, is not precisely full. Like, you can have more than 100% turn meter, right? Just the way the game works. It's a little bit weird. So you could revive someone with 100% turn meter, and you will still have other champions go before them, but they're pretty damn close to getting a turn. So it's a very powerful revive on him. Either way, it's still a really good revive on your dead ally. Either way, 75% turn meter is very good. Most revives aren't bringing you back with that much. High turn meter is very important on a revive because it means they're much more likely to actually get a turn, especially with this reset cooldown. It's very potent. Actually, I spoke too soon on this. After the revival, decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 10%. If Wight King Narses is revived, decrease the turn meters of all enemies by 20% instead, and the effect cannot be resisted. Okay, so if you bring him back with 100% turn meter and you do an irresistible 20% pushback, yeah, like you're almost definitely he's going to take a turn straight away with his skills fully reset. So that's very powerful. Even without him, it's still a good revive. Like 75% turn meter with full skill reset. You bring back a nuker if you know, yeah, it's a little bit awkward. She might need accuracy, or she will need accuracy to do this 10% turn meter pushback. I don't think it's that big of a deal, though, to be honest. You know, most likely they're going to have damage dealers not built with any resistance, and in that situation, you are going to be able to push their turn meters back. You could easily get a good revive off on your damage dealer, and they might not have a damage dealer ready to go. So yeah, for a fusion, looking really strong here. Very powerful with him. Queen's Consort, 3 turn books to a 0 turn cooldown. Whenever an enemy tries to place Fear, True Fear, Freeze, Provoke, Sleep, Stun, or Petrification on the ally with the highest crit damage, transfer those debuffs to this champion instead. Fills the turn meter of this champion by 50% if this champion misses their turn due to one of these debuffs. So pretty cool. It's kind of like Pixnial on steroids, in a way. Yeah, again, protect the nuker. Take the hard crowd control off your nuker, put him on her, and she gets a big turn meter boost if she misses her turn. Nice. At the start of this champion's turn, excuse me, remove any Fear, True Fear. So remove all those debuffs from this champion if Wight King Narses is on the same team. There's multiple champions on the team with the skill. Only one will activate. Well, that's not too important. I doubt you'd run up 2 of her together. Most likely not. But yeah, okay. Pretty cool. So if Wight King is there, I mean, he's a damage dealer. He's quite likely to be your highest crit damage champion on the team. She's going to keep taking these debuffs off of him, and they just get auto-removed from her at the start of her turn. So if he is there, the only way to crowd control her is with Lockout. She's not immune to that, but she's basically immune to all other crowd control debuffs if the Wight King's on the team, which is very powerful. Very powerful for a cleanser and a reviver. Very strong. Yeah, so that's cool. And then her aura is at 19% speed in all battles aura, which is, again, a very, very good aura, obviously enough. The Duchess aura, there it is. But yeah, I mean, either way, I still think, you know, I still think that her just taking those debuffs off of the ally with the highest crit damage, it does protect any nuker. But like, yeah, I mean, I think it's quite nice. It's quite nice that, hey, okay, if Wight King is there, yeah, she just cleanses off the debuffs for free. If he's not there and she misses a turn due to being stunned or provoked or whatever, she gets 50% turn meter. So it's pretty good. Pretty good. So I like that, I have to say. Pretty cool. So there you go. Wight King, or Wight Queen, Ankora. Honestly, as a fusion, I think she looks fantastic. To me, this looks to be I would say a must-do fusion. Looks to be quite strong for Arena, with a very powerful, one of the better single target revives in the game. Good cleanse and a shield. Good A1. She seems like a winner, honestly. Seems very, very good. Let me know what you think about her, but let's take a look at Wight King Narses, her partner. Also, I have to say, visually, they both look very cool. Nothing too obvious in terms of Valentine's for him, whereas she obviously had, yeah, she had the very obviously Valentine's staff, and she's got a heart pendant there on her chest as well. They both look sick, though. I love it. The regal, mummified look, badass, super cool. Yeah, a bit of an Egyptian theme, but also like dark evil Egyptian. It's cool. I'm here for it. I'm here for days. He is also Knight's Revenant, so same faction. That's cool. And he is legendary Void HP based champion. And like I said, he looks to be a damage dealer. 33% HP in all battles aura. That's a really solid aura. Great. Let's get that out of the way. Let's look at his skills. Corruption Scepter is A1. Attacks one enemy, has a 30 booking to 50% chance of randomly increasing the cooldown of one of the target's skills by 2 turns. Effect cannot be resisted if Wight Queen Ankora is on the same team. Now, off the top of my head, I did have a quick look through. I do not think there's anything else in his kit that requires accuracy, so very likely you would not build any accuracy. This wouldn't work against anyone that's building resistance unless she's there, but it would be very strong for controlling, I mean, anyone who's not got resistance. So most damage dealers, you could put their stuff on cooldown if you don't just kill them straight up, of course. So it's a 50-50. Again, it could actually be quite good if she's on the team against a reviver, like a tanky reviver. Just putting their skills on cooldown is quite strong. Desecration Blast. 4 goes to a 3-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies. Ignores 25% defense. That's big because you've got, in just baseline, you've got 25 from Savage. You've got then another 25 from Helm Smasher. The more ignore defense you have, the better it gets. That's cool. There's even room here to grow. You could add on like Merciless set for what, 30% ignore defense to get really powerful. Places an extra hit on targets under shield or strengthen buffs. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries except by bosses. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be increased by this champion's masteries or ally passives except when attacking bosses. So this is interesting. It's Karato Fox Hunter has a similar thing. Why is this such a big deal? Well, something that might be concerning is the extra hit on targets under shield or strengthen and the ignore defense. Like if I open up the game, sorry, it's very small, but if we take a quick gander at this, it does remind me a decent bit of Wrong Faction, of Fate. I went to Knight's Revenant, whoops. Fatalis Blade Master, he's got, a similar thing of ignore defense on an AoE, and we know that his one doesn't hit that hard. This is a double hitter. If you trigger this extra hit, it's likely to absolutely clap. Like, this is going to rip people apart with that 25% ignore defense. Without the extra hit, it's not going to hit quite as hard, so that might be a little bit of a concern. Like, off the top of my head, let's guess. I would guess maybe for like this guy seems like he's supposed to be really good. It could be like a 0.3 multiplier on the AoE, and then it gets doubled to a 0.6 with the extra, which is massive. That's huge. Maybe it's only a 0.25. It gets doubled up to 0.5, which would be maybe a bit more in line. Like Magnar has a 0.22 multiplier, I believe, so it's 0.44 total for Magnar. I'm expecting him to be stronger than that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe a 0.25 multiplier makes sense, doubles up to 0.5, or maybe 0.2 multiplier, doubling up to 0.4. It is a bit stronger than it sounds then because they ignore defense. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is, it might do good damage with a single hit, but I'm expecting when you get that extra hit to really hit hard. And like I said, we talk about Taras Marichka. I'm instantly seeing, well, 2 things. Number 1, what does Marichka do? Puts a shield and strengthen buff on the team. Okay. AoE shield strengthen champion in Marichka. This guy does an extra hit against anyone that she buffs, so that's really nice. He's also HP. So Taras passive cannot reduce, right? Taras passive, which reduces your attack up to 50. It just reduces enemies' attack up to 50%, just for fun. Why not? But the damage cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills. So guess what? Taras, who just cause reduces damage from skills by 50%, doesn't work. he does full damage. Rotus, who reduces damage. Rotus cannot be hit for more than 50% of his max HP. He reduced the damage. Will not work against Wight King Narses. He will just hit straight through that. Harima, who comes in, and Harima, she reduces ignore defense effects by 50%. His damage cannot be decreased by enemy passives. It will not work. Duchess AoE damage reduction will not work. This is huge. It's very strong. Like, just straight up, this is very, very strong. So yeah, I think this is going to be a kind of a beast of a move. Very good. The passive makes it better as well. We'll come to that in a second. Spirits Claim You. 5 turn goes to a 4 turn cooldown. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Increase the damage inflicted with this skill by 10% for each buff on the target, up to 50. And an additional 10% for each buff on this champion, stacking up to 50. If the attack kills a target under 3 or more buffs, puts block revive. If also gives an extra turn if he kills an enemy with Wight Queen Ankora on the same team. So again, this is a counter Marichka thing, or actually counter a lot of champions. Counter Sifi as well. Counters a ton of stuff. So he hits harder the more buffs on the target. The more buffs on him, the harder he hits as well. Again, you're going to get potentially a shield buff and a strengthen, maybe a bolster shield potentially as well from the queen if you run them together, or again likewise if you put them with any sort of buffing type champion. Yeah, 3 or more buffs block revive. So yeah, like you come in, Marichka trying to revive stuff, great, no problem. Sifi comes in, tries to put up block debuffs, increase defense, increase speed, great, 3 buffs, cool. Sure, the defense is going to reduce the damage he does, but I'll take the 30% extra damage, and if I kill your target, I'll block revive. It's a double hitter as well, so I can kill your Rotus and block revive on him. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. The extra turn, this seems like, yeah, that seems more just more gravy on top. Like, that seems really, really just, you're going to absolutely destroy them. But, yeah, it seems like it's a good move even without that. So that's powerful for sure. Then Mantle of Undeath is passive. This champion receives 50% less damage when attacked by enemies, including bosses and their minions, out of their active turn. If Wight Queen Ankora is on the same team, he'll receive no damage when attacked by enemies out of their extra turn. This effect does not apply to bosses and their minions, so I guess it doesn't get powered up when she's there. If it's a boss, you'll still take the 50% less. So that's obviously nice. What does it mean, attacked out of your active turn? So this would typically mean like ally attacks, counter attacks, things like the Ice Golem retaliation when you pass a HP threshold. When they get to do things that's not their turn. I mean, the big one again for me, imagine the two of these champs together. What is one of the things that makes Taris Marichka, again, so broken? One of the big things is Taris's A2, which is an absolute monster of a single target nuke. Whenever an enemy attacks Marichka, he just smacks them with one of the biggest single target nukes in the game, just for free, out of turn. Guess what? Wight King Narses, he just takes no damage from it. 0 damage. If Wight Queen Ankora is on the same team, just nothing. If she's not there, if you don't have her, if she gets banned away or whatever, you just don't have her, he'll take 50% less damage when attacked by enemies out of turn, so he'll take half damage from that. It's a pretty big deal. Again, because he's a HP-based champion, it's going to make him tanky. You know, you put him in, like, if you're up against ally attack, like Lady Mikage, very strong ally attack, or Cardial in Arena, again, he should take half damage from all those ally attacks, which is also pretty substantial. And then finally, I forgot to say, maybe the best part, this champion's skills will also ignore shield and strengthen buffs. I don't think that's if she's there. Maybe it is only if she's there. I'm not sure. But I think this is just by default, just straight up, he always ignores shield and strengthen. So he's always ignoring like the shield and strengthen that a Marichka is putting up, or anyone is putting up. Like, shield's very common. Necret the Great. So many champions putting up shield. And then a few, not so many, with strengthen. He just ignores both of them, which again makes this move an absolute monster. This Desecration Blast will be a double hit against targets under shield or strengthen, and he ignores both of those. Like, they're almost definitely going to kill everyone, unless the multipliers are absolutely terrible. From the sounds of it, he is just built to destroy people that put up shit. Yeah, to me, I'm looking at this. I put all this stuff together, looking at his kit. This, to me, reads like, I am here to beat the Taris Marichka duo, right? I am here to beat them. My damage cannot be decreased by Taris passive. I hit through shield and strengthen. I'll do extra hits if Marichka puts those up. I've got a block revive. I don't take damage from the Taris retaliation, or I take much reduced damage. I'm super tanky as well. Yeah, this seems like it's supposed to be a Void Lego to shake up the meta. So yeah, again, guys, let me know. What do you think about these? Obviously, how are you going to get Mr. Wight King Narses? Most likely, almost definitely, 100%, it's going to be just shards, right? It is going to be from shards. I'm sure there'll be a 10x or progressive chance events for him at some point. But this to me seems like he is the new Chase Void Legendary that people are buying shards to get, right? This is for the whales and the krakens. This is the reason to buy Void shards. Go and get him and change the arena meta. That seems to be what it is. So yeah, expect him to be very hard to get. Simple enough. That's how it's going to work. But if you do get him, he looks like an absolute monster. And yeah, again, even without him, Wight Queen Ankora, I think she still looks really, really good. The fusion that everyone can get, which makes him even more powerful in the sense that, you know, when you get him, you'll have his partner ready to go because you can get her. I'm imagining it might be a fairly tough fusion. Yeah, I think she's really good. Powerful single target revive, good support and protection. I think she's worth picking up for sure. Let me know what you think about this one. Do you think that they are going to shake up the meta as much as I'm expecting, or have I missed something, or Taris Marichka just going to destroy them anyway? I don't know. Let me know. You can tell me. But yeah, there you go, guys. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts about this one. I also have to say, shout out to Raid. Like, I do appreciate Plarium actually showing us, because for every previous fusion with a partner, we've just been left guessing, been like, I don't know what their partner's like. It's actually really cool of them to provide us with like a proper, like a whole proper info page with artwork and everything of what including books of what their partner does. That's a really cool move. So like, I do have to say, really appreciate that from them. That is a cool move. 10 out of 10. Yeah, there you go. See you next time. Goodbye.